Hey there, fellow DIYers. It's Rick coming at you from Parkville, Maryland with a problem and a solution. What's the problem? Well, behind me is a very popular Rubbermaid shed made of plastic, and the issue is the roofs of these things over time tend to curl up on the ends. The solution? Well, I'm going to show you that in a moment, and then we'll go step by step through the process for those who are interested. Here's the issue. The ends of these roofs tend to curl up right here where they're no longer attached to the wall, and those familiar with these sheds know they employ a tab and slot method of attachment, and once these things curl up, the tab and slots no longer align and you lose your structural integrity. Here's a better view of it. You can see the end of the roof is separated from the top of the wall, and that's unacceptable. And we're going to go ahead and show you a solution I propose. Okay, here's my solution. Let's take a look. I'm using some pre-slotted and drilled angle. It's sitting on top of the edge of the roof line, and you'll notice I have an Eyebolt there. It's a threaded Eyebolt. I'm using some 550 cord. 550 cord runs down the length of the wall into a turnbuckle, and then the turnbuckle then is attached with another Eyebolt. In this particular example, it's a lag bolt screwed into this foundation with a pre-drilled hole. I have 1, 2, 3 of these cord assemblies tied into the foundation. There's other approaches, I'm sure. For example, my original thought was to use some angle and simply drill holes into the wall, but I thought under tension that would cause problems. So again, many options you have available. I just think this unique solution here, this approach, it works. It gets the job done, and it also transfers a load from the roof down to the foundation, which in this particular case is pressure treated 2x6. Your specific installation may be different, so adjust accordingly. And revisiting the problem, but this time from the inside of the shed, you can see the roof has curled up over time. When the sun beats on these things, they tend to warp. Now you have a gap, and you'll see the tab and slot functionality as intended has been compromised, which I'm sure some of you will agree is unacceptable, and fortunately there's an easy solution, which I'm about to demonstrate for those who are interested. And here we go on the opposite side with the solution. You'll notice that the roof line ties in as intended by the manufacturer to line up with the corresponding tab and slots to give you the structural integrity you paid for. Nice, huh? Alright, let me show you how it's done for those who are interested. Okay, folks, what do we need for the solution? Well, as I pointed out in the solution side of things, you need some angle. You can use whatever you have laying around. I originally thought about using some bed rail angle and slotting it, but I went ahead with this because frankly it was easier. What else do we need? An Eyebolt. This is going to be used in conjunction with the angle. You can also probably get away with using some pressure treated lumber up there, but I think for me this particular application is better using some steel. You'll also need another Eyebolt. This particular one will be a lag, so you have a threaded Eyebolt and a lag. I also recommend using a turnbuckle. I prefer to use the hook and eye. A lot of you can use hook and hook or eye and eye, whatever you prefer. And I originally thought about using steel wire like this for this project, but then after giving it some more thought, I realized 550 cord will handle this job just as well and cost 60%, 70% less. So the wire is out of here. So instead of the steel wire, I decided to go with this 550 cord. Its load rating is in the ballpark with all these other bits and fittings, so why not? The steel wire is like 2 to 3 times, maybe 4 times the strength rating of all this, so that's kind of overkill. So I went with the 550 cord instead. That's pretty much all we need for this project. Let's continue. Okay, what tools are we going to need for this simple project? Well, first, basically, you'll need a pen, Sharpie marker, pencil, whatever you prefer, so you can mark up your holes. You can also wing it without it. This particular project, we're going to need 2 drill bits. Spec them to size for what you're using. I did it to accommodate both this lag bolt, and you're going to be drilling holes into the roof line, and this bit accommodates that. So that's what you need the drill bits for. You need 2. Let's move those guys out of the way. You'll need a screwdriver, or you can use a pair of pliers. You'll need that to adjust your turnbuckle. Bam! You also will need a utility knife or a pair of scissors to cut your cord, or you can gnaw on it with your teeth. Use whatever you prefer. What else we're going to need? We're going to need a drill. Doesn't have to be a cordless thing. You use whatever you got. Boom. We'll also need a tape measure. It's not really required. I guess you can eyeball it, but why not? Measure twice, cut once. What else we're going to need? Oh yeah, my favorite part of this project. Use a come-along. You can use whatever model you got. This is a 2-ton rig. Some of you guys got the fancy 4-ton rigs. You don't need all that. You can probably get by. Obviously, you can get by with a 1-ton come-along. There's another name for these things. I forget what it's called. Some kind of reel take-up. I don't know. But to me, I'm old school. They're come-alongs, and I'll show you how we apply that to get this job done. And obviously, before we proceed, I'd be remiss to leave these out. Standard fare. Practice job safety. This job's not particularly loud, but you know, it's always a good idea to have some hearing protection on the site, just in case for those who have sensitive ears. Eye protection is always good when you're drilling, and if you need to cut down your angle, definitely you want your eyes and you want your eye protection and your hearing protection. What else? You know, a pair of work gloves. It's always a good idea. You don't need them, but why not? If you got them, use them. And the tool that wasn't specifically called out for this project, it depends on your particular needs. I had to use it, and that's an angle grinder. You can use any size you got, or you can use a chop saw or recip saw, hacksaw blade, or a very angry dog to, you know, properly equipped. I'm using a Diablo cut-off disc to cut down your angle stock, but obviously if you use the right size for your application, you won't need to cut it down. I had to do so. Your particular needs may vary, but hey, it doesn't hurt to have a angle grinder to get the job done. Anyway, let's go on with the process. It's also a great idea to use a ladder, a step stool, or some other tool to safely elevate you to the roof.